In the village, right on the corner of the square, there was a blacksmith's shop where hammer blows against the anvil always resounded. Don Ramón worked there, a strong man with calloused hands and a kind look. His talent for forging horseshoes, gates and tools was recognized by everyone. But the most special thing about his workshop was not his creations, but an old wind-up clock that hung on the wall and marked each hour with a deep and slow sound. The children said that the clock had magic, because while it rang, Don Ramón never stopped working. But one day, the clock continued to mark the hours, but the blacksmith was no longer at his post. Don Ramón had fallen ill. The cough would not leave him alone and, unable to work, he had no money to pay the rent for the workshop. If he did not find a solution soon, he would have to close it and leave the town. Uncle Augustin heard the news one afternoon, when he passed by the workshop and saw the door closed. That had never happened before. Worried, he went with the children to the blacksmith's house and there, between coughs and sighs, Don Ramón told them his problem. "Without the workshop, I don't know what I'll do. I don't have the strength to start over somewhere else," he said sadly. Uncle Augustine stroked his mustache and looked at the children with a knowing smile. "Well then, we won't let you lose your workshop," he said with determination. That same afternoon, Uncle Augustine and the children came up with a plan. If Don Ramón couldn't work, they would work for him. First, they organized a collection. They went house to house, explaining the situation to the neighbors, who didn't hesitate to donate flour, milk, vegetables and some money to help the blacksmith. Then, they convinced the town's merchants to commission him work in advance. Don Nicholas, the baker, asked for new racks for his oven. Dona Clara, the seamstress, needed a hanger to hang fabrics, and Don Matias, the farmer, wanted some horseshoes for his horse. Meanwhile, the children cleaned and organized the workshop for when Don Ramón was better. They put each tool in its place and even wound up the old clock, as if they wanted the magic to return to their home. Little by little, thanks to the support of the town, Don Ramón recovered. When he returned to his workshop, he found everything in its place and a list of orders waiting for him. "But this is wonderful," he exclaimed excitedly. Uncle Augustin smiled. "A workshop is not just a place of work, Don Ramón. It is part of the town, and the town never abandons its own." The blacksmith, moved, cleaned his glasses and looked at everyone with gratitude. Since then, the workshop clock began to chime with its slow and constant rhythm, but now, every time it struck the hour, Don Ramón remembered that the most valuable thing was not his tools or his forge, but the community that surrounded him. The moral of this story is, when a community unites, there is no problem that they cannot solve together. If you liked the story, please consider subscribing to our channel and also leaving a like. This encourages us and gives us energy to continue creating children's stories for you and your children. Thank you for your visit. See you in our next story.